Yo, thanks for joining us tonight. If you're with us tonight, hit the like and the subscribe button. It's the 80s Babies Conversation, y'all. This your boy Bubba GP checking in. We got some good conversation for y'all tonight, man. So if you would, please drop your name in the chat so y'all can interact with us tonight, man. Be a part of the conversation. But sis, what it do? What you got going tonight?
It's your girl, Ray Cherie, the hostess with the mostest. I'm glad to be here on this marvelous evening.
Yes,
Somebody has a birthday coming up this weekend. Brother, tell them how old you will be.
Yeah, the boy about to be 34 up in this thing, you know what I'm saying? 80s, baby, 88, Sunday is going down. If you know, you already know where to be at. It's going up. We're going to be lit. Let's go, Gemini season.
Yes. Do you have any special plans?
Nothing too special, dealing with the family and stuff, We just gonna kick it and we gonna chill, man. We gonna do nothing too major. We're waiting on the 35th.
All right, and y'all invite some friends. We got a good conversation planned for tonight.
Yes, we do.
All right, we're gonna get ready to go ahead and dive right on into it. So this weekend, we've started to see a man go viral. His name happens to be David Cruz, and he's saying that he's on a faith walk. So we're gonna watch a quick little clip, just a piece of a clip, and then we're gonna talk about it.
The mileage.
So you didn't look at it as a purpose you didn't look at it from the standpoint of a spiritual journey. You looked at the purpose of just, this is where I'm supposed to go, point A to point B. And so what difference does it make where I go? It's still point A to point B.
Exactly. Okay. And not only that, but I thought that dream signified, it was warning me. It was warning me that I'm about to go into Miami. I lived there 3 times periodically in my life in Florida, so it was possible that somebody could betray me and leave me in a pool of blood. Okay. The alligators are only found there.
Okay.
In Florida and Louisiana.
Okay.
Okay. So I said, you know what? Maybe he's trying to make me avoid going to Florida because something bad is about to happen to me. So let me just go to California.
So you got scared.
Yeah, I got scared. And there's no faith in scared. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I only know that that was distraction now. You understand?
All right, so we have David Cruz going on a faith walk. He's going viral, and he's saying that he's trying to be obedient to God. What's your take on it?
I mean, I can't say, what a person, feels and hears from God, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like if God told him to do that, then by all means, Mr. David Cruz, go ahead and do your thing, But honestly, me personally, I'm hoping he has safe travels the entire way, because with all the madness and craziness going on in the world, that's a very dangerous trip, especially looking at the distance. I mean, some people can barely walk not even a mile up the street and not have to worry about something happening to him. So you think about a man that's traveling on foot from New York to Miami, Florida, that's a long way. That's a long way to drive, So, I mean, if he feel like that's what he needs to do, then, I mean, by all means, like I say, go for it. But just be careful out there, Like I say, so much going on in the world. That's just a long, dangerous trip, man. Like I would be real scared to be doing that, to be honest, me.
Yeah. My coworker actually was able to meet him last night in the parking lot of Applebee's. So he was in Phoenix City. He made his way through Smith Station. He's headed to Opelika, and he's supposed to be in Montgomery on tomorrow.
Right. And if he comes, I'm gonna try to be looking out, on my social media to see if anybody spot him, so I can try to, get to him too and get some live feed for y'all too, just to see what he had to say personally, you know what I'm saying? So if he comes through here, I'm definitely gonna try to catch up with him and try to get a word from him and post it for y'all.
And she said that he looked tired, he looked weak. She saw him last night. He's not taking any charity, by the way. He's not doing it for money or anything like that. So I say, let's be cognizant of what he's doing. And if we do our research on Faith Walk, a lot of people don't make it. So when we're stopping him and we're getting all these pictures and things like that, just be cognizant of his own health, that he needs rest and those kind of things as well. And let's not glamorize it, and let's not make fun of him while he's out there doing this, because he's saying that this is a spiritual journey. If y'all have some input, weigh in the chat. But if it's a spiritual journey, let's respect this process. And let's not try to capitalize or glamorize that in a sense. And let's keep him in our prayers with everything that's going on in the world. Faith that he makes it to his destination in good health and unharmed and untouched by any danger, seen and unseen.
Right. And I've been hearing a lot of people talk about it on different platforms and stuff and social media and whatnot, but I hear a lot of people saying that he's probably doing it for clout, or he's doing it for attention or this and that. You know, I feel like it's more so the people that he's encountering that's doing it for the clout. Like they're encountering him to, you know, for the fame and say, oh, I met David Cruz, you know what I'm saying? I saw him walking personally. I got the video. I feel like it's more of a clout chasing thing with the people that he's encountering, not so much as him, you know. And I mean, that's what today's world is about now, you know. People want to just get stuff on social media just to say they did it or they saw it and they got it recorded. So I feel like it's a clout chasing thing with a lot of the people that he's encountering.
Okay. The next topic that we're going to get into tonight is everybody's talking about Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan. Lori is the daughter of Steve Harvey, and Michael B. Jordan is the stepdaughter of Steve Harvey. But I say daughter because I don't like that step stuff. And he is the Black Panther star. So they are depicted to be like the black couple, the young couple match made in heaven type thing. And they have broken up. And I was proud of them because they kept their relationship in secrecy for a whole year before they released it out to the public. And now that they're broken up, people are swinging both ways. Some people are doing the sympathy card. They feel sorry for them. And some people are saying, well, now she's going to send him back to a white woman. You know,
I feel like people worrying about the wrong thing. You know, they should be worried about it. These two people, you know what I'm saying? They might not have been, you know, good together, you know, regardless of how it looked how it looked to us. They probably weren't happy together. You know, who knows what it was? And I mean, at the end of the day, these people are regular people just like me and you know what I'm saying? Besides the fact that they got money and they're, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to relationship wise, you know, they're regular people, you know what I'm saying? They have feelings and stuff. They go through breakups and all of that stuff just like normal people. So I really don't understand why people sitting here making a big deal of publicizing it or just blowing it up so big to the point to where, oh, is everybody focused? Oh, I wonder what happened. I wonder, you know, these people who have lives outside of the fame and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So the reason they broke up or not together anymore should be their business. Nobody else shouldn't be speculating or making assumptions why they split up or broke up or whatever. You know, they human. I mean, breakups happen. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much money you got, you know, breakups happen. I mean, that's what people do. So I don't even know why it's a big deal, you know.
Now, as a woman, I must say I'm all into the celebrity gossip. But he happens to be 35 and she happens to be 25. And they're saying that he was wanting a more serious relationship. He's ready for marriage and children and all those things. She's not ready for that yet. And different sources are saying that it's because she's more focused on her brand. Her industry is beauty. And she's not ready to compromise that at that expense. You know, that's what people are reporting. I can't blame her for that. If she's 25 years old and that's how she makes her money, I can't blame her for saying, I don't want to make any changes to my body just yet. So I don't want to move into something that's serious.
Right. And you're absolutely right. And I feel like with him and her being a fame like they are, you know what I'm saying, he should have known that. Just going into that type of relationship with that type of woman, you got to know the person that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So he should have known that. And I mean, of course, at some point in her career, she probably, you know, considered that. But you know, she's young. Like you say, it's a 10-year gap. You know, we look at 10 years, not a long time, but today it's a big difference. It's a big gap. You know what I'm saying? To be 10 years younger or older than a person. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all not gonna think the same at all. You know what I'm saying? So I can't blame her for that, but at the same time, you know, he's at an age where he's he's wanting a family now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he had kids already or what. Does he have kids or anything now?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about him having kids. And Chelsea
I mean,
just said a decade is a long time.
right, it is.
That's a big gap.
Yeah, it's a big gap, you know what I'm saying? But either way, you know, I can't blame her for not wanting to jeopardize her career and her brand, you know what I'm saying? But it just depends on the type of relationship. And that's another thing, like you say, you know, we see them together and then a nice relationship, but, you know, we didn't know what was exactly going on in those people's relationships. So, like I say, it's just hard. But I can't blame her if that's the case, though. You know, I can't blame her. And like I say, he can't be mad at her. It's just like her asking him to give up acting or something. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people probably out there like, oh, I would have had that baby. I would have had a baby with him, or I would have started a family. He got money, you know what I'm saying? But what if they don't make it after that? You know what I'm saying?
Her goals and what about her dreams?
Exactly. And what if they don't make it and he leaves her, or they divorce, split up, or whatever the case may be? What if that happens and she's giving up her whole career to be with this man and do what he wanted? You know what I'm saying? So you can't be.
I also say there is something going on. She took all the pictures down from Instagram, but I will say that I don't think people leave perfect relationships. So they're human, and let's not chastise them for being human. Right. Yeah, they were deaf a good look, but we do not know the ins and outs of their relationship. Facts.
Exactly.
They are both going.
Of course, we want to see them together because they're black. Yeah, they're young, they're wealthy. You know, we want to see a power couple more. You know, more black power couples and stuff. But
people have to do what
it is, man. I mean, it is what it is. You know, people come and go. That's just what it is.
And this weekend right here, this week has been plagued with some tragedies. So our hearts and prayers are with Metro Boomin and his family. He lost his mother over the weekend to what appears to be something also related to domestic violence, in a murder/suicide. And also in the Atlanta area, the rapper Trouble was killed.
Right. Kind of on some of the same circumstances. I'm thinking, you know, well, not the same circumstances, but kind of related things. But I think Trouble was killed like they said it was a home invasion. I'm hearing a couple of different stories, you know what I'm saying? But it appears he was in the house chilling with a female, and her ex-boyfriend, baby daddy, or whatever he was to her, came in, and I guess it was an altercation, and it led to Trouble being shot, you know, and killed. So, you know, my condolences to those two families too, man. It's been a crazy weekend, man. So
yes. So then my whole thing with the issue, so he's chilling with a friend. Her ex-boyfriend, the person she was in a relationship with last week, pops up, and you know, he breaks in the house and they get into an altercation. From what I'm understanding, him and the woman got into an altercation. Then he shoots Trouble in the chest. So with that being said, you know, that was somebody's son, that was possibly somebody's dad, that was somebody that's part of our hip hop culture, but they're gone over a senseless reason.
Right.
My whole question is this: in this day and age, you got a lot of people multi-dating. What do we do when pulling up goes wrong? Because we had that pull-up culture now. I'll pull up on you.
My advice to a man is, and a female too, you know, my advice to people is, if that happens to you, if someone pull up, you know, my advice to you is, don't look out for self first. I'm gonna just be real. Look out for self first. Try to get your way up out of there without no violence. Try to, you know, back your way up out of that situation, and you know what I'm saying, make sure you survive, because you know, at the end of the day, you know, people feeling get tired of, you know, ain't no telling what they'll do in the heat of the moment. So you got to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, it's just best to not, to the people that do the pull up game, it's best to not pull up, because you can be on the other end of that stick too. Now, don't get it twisted, but if someone pull up on you, man, just try to back up out of there, man. But I mean, that's a scary situation to be in, you know, because you don't know what's gonna happen. So just know your surroundings too, and know the person that you're dealing with also. You know what I'm saying? Like if y'all meeting up, just have a spot y'all go to or something, you know, or whatever. If you know you got a crazy man or a crazy woman that's lurking around, let that person know. Don't put yourself in harm's way.
Right.
Yeah, don't put yourself in harm's way.
A bad relationship last week.
Yeah.
Like,
don't put
it's
yourself
not okay for you to chill at my house. Maybe we need to chill at your spot, or maybe we need to go, get a room somewhere. But my house is not safe right now because he could show up at any time. Right. What's wrong with honesty?
Right, and I guess some people don't want to admit the fact that they got crazy people that have been prior trailing them or stalking them. They don't want to let the person know because they feel like, oh, that's lame or something. That's the culture.
They don't want to run the potential.
They don't want to run that person off. You know what I'm saying? But if it were me, I'm running off. You get to tie your loose ends up and get it together, man. Because it's dangerous, man. When there's a life at stake, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Live to see another person. They say live to fight another day. Live to see another person, man. That's all you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Because that pain get over. Sitting in prison for life, you can't get over that. Or being in that graveyard, you can't come back from that.
All you can do is preset healthy boundaries, and if worse comes to worse, defend yourself.
Exactly.
Our mama said, just don't be going to someone's house you just met last month.
You better get to know them. You better.
Realistically, people are doing that now, especially with these dating apps and all this stuff. People they linking up. They linking up quickly.
Of course.
But you got to ask the right questions before you don't put your life at risk. Ask the right questions. And then also I feel like what a way he had a girlfriend. So what a way to find out that your boyfriend died while he was going to see another woman, kind of thing.
Right. I mean, that's who knows what he was there for? You know what I'm saying? Just like I say, everybody putting their input on what the situation was. We don't know why he was there. We don't know if he was dating that girl. We don't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he was at the wrong place and definitely at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? So.
And also, Ashley said, if a person says they will do something, believe them the first time. Be careful and ask questions. It's not being nosy. And also to men and to women who may be in those domestic violence situations, like they have a domestic violence hotline. There are shelters out here. Like it may not be safe to stay in that apartment if somebody has or saying, some things that don't sound safe, or they're threatening your safety or something like that. Or if you're scared for your life, then you need to call that hotline so they can try to get you up out of there.
Right, because don't take a chance, man. Like you only got one life to live. Don't let it end at the hands of another person and their feelings. Now I'm telling you, like it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. It's too much more in life to be, to do and experience than to be getting tied up in your feelings and going and killing a person over, like be mad. I understand that everybody went through breakups and the person that they probably was in love with moving on to another person, but at the end of the day, you got over it. You know what I'm saying? So, man, to everybody out there, man, if you're going through a breakup or you're into that, man, look, it's going to live to see another day above ground and not to sell, because that's where you're going if you know what I'm saying, you end up like these people, man. So, it's really a serious matter, though, because, a lot of this stuff goes on more than we hear about it. It just so happened that these people made the news because of their status. You know what I'm saying? They're famous. So, this stuff goes on every day.
Every day.
Like, every day. So, y'all just be careful, man, and know what you're dealing with and the situation you're getting in.
All right. Yeah. If you, Ashley said, find a healthy way to heal from relationships.
Exactly.
To find a healthy way. If you follow us on Facebook, we posted a link to a Google form where you can submit your audio or video to be a part of the podcast. So we have our first submission from Jawad Shabazz.
They got the crack, you know what I'm saying? The influence of. Alright, how y'all doing? This is Jawad Shabazz. First off, I'm loving the podcast. I appreciate y'all consistently bringing it to us, but I wanted y'all to speak about, as 80s babies growing up in the 80s and 90s, so much has started changing. We a couple years out of the freedom movement, so black and white people start going to school, interacting and stuff more. You got Let's see what gangster music or something coming out. You know, more people cussing and stuff on records. They got the crack. You know what I'm saying? The influence of that lifestyle. You know, you got movies and cable TV, you know what I'm saying, spreading different ideas off into our minds. You know what I'm saying? How did these things influence what you became and, you know what I'm saying, what you're becoming now? How did that affect you as an 80s baby?
All right, so I got a story, Bub. I don't know if you remember this, but I remember being in elementary school and the kids on the bus were singing "Yo Mama is on Crack Rock," and I cried for like a whole week.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, one day, you know, my
You didn't
mom,
know it was a song.
I didn't know it was a song, and I didn't know what crack was, but I knew it was bad because I didn't know what it was, and everybody was singing. I felt like they were singing it at me. But I say that to say, growing up around a lot of things, you know, I was sheltered from some things.
We were sheltered from a lot of things.
We were sheltered from a lot of things that were happening right up under our noses in our families, and stuff like that. But you know, my parents did a great job at making sure that we didn't have to see some of those things. You know, now in my teenage years, you know, I started seeing, you know, their relative is on drugs, or you know, people may not take care of their kids and things like that. I started seeing things like that in my teenage years. So I think my parents did a good job at sheltering us from mainstream media, but still allowing us to be kids and still allowing us to get the full experience of our ethnicity of being Black in America. We definitely got that. I recall an older white gentleman, it was Montgomery Ward at the time. He called me the N-word, and my daddy was ready to kill him in the store, kind of thing. So I had the opportunity to see what it was like to be Black in America as a child, and how to do things with excellence and how to stand up for myself, how to defend myself. But I think that, you know, parents ultimately control what their kids are exposed to a degree. Yes, they get exposed to things at school. Yes, they're gonna get exposed to by things by their friends. They read magazines. You know, social media comes into play now. We didn't have that.
That's what I was just about to say.
Talk to your kids. That dinner time conversation when everybody sit down at the table, you got to talk to your kids and pick their brains. So I applaud my parents for doing that.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like now, you know, you had real parents, and then you had people that helped with raising us too, you know what I'm saying? So it was like you had grandparents and stuff, you know. The grandparents are the same age as the parents, you know, only probably like 12 years older than the parent, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't got nobody to help with the kids no more, you know. So, and like you said, sis, we were sheltered from a lot of things too, you know what I'm saying, that we didn't start to see until we got older in age and stuff, and you know, just older and going to school and just, you know, going to college and everything. So it's like we didn't see a lot of stuff growing up, you know. But at the same time, you know, these kids got so many sources that they can, you know, be exposed to different things. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, we didn't have social media back then, not for real. You know, MySpace came along, you know, but it still wasn't like it is now. Like these kids is no filter. They can easily pick up a cell phone and search whatever comes to their mind, and it's gonna be something. I don't care if you can search the dumbest thing on the internet, and something's gonna pop up. You know what I'm saying? So these kids got this stuff at their disposal. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have that. We could barely watch TV. We would get in trouble. And I know a lot of y'all 80s baby remember BET Uncut with the videos that came on. You know what I'm saying? We would get in trouble for getting caught watching Uncut. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a different time, and a lot of things that, you know, our parents saw, you know, weren't fit for us. These parents are okay with their kids watching it and seeing it. I mean, even the cartoons these days have stuff that you gotta look out for in it. So it's like I say, it's so different you know what I'm saying, and whippings. Like, you know, kids don't get whippings like they're used to, or you know, spankings. We ain't call them spankings, we call them whippings. You know, whippings. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of parents, and we talked about it before, a lot of parents like to be friends with the kids. So, you know, I don't know, man. It's crazy. Even with, you know what I'm saying, the parental advisory passwords, you know, it's still easy for these kids to access this stuff, man. Like, whereas we didn't have this stuff. We didn't have the devices, the phones, nothing.
Yes.
Nothing.
So that kind of thing. But then we also had
we had to visually see it for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now I know some friends that like visually saw a lot of the stuff that they rap about these days and all that, but a lot of people had to visually see it then, you know what I'm saying? Now, like I say, you can pick up the phone and look at everything you want to see, killing anything, you know what I'm saying? So
yes,
it's easy.
It's easy. So that kind of guides us into our discussion for tonight. And our discussion, you know, we want to know, do us 80s babies feel like our parents, for those of us, did our upbringing shape us into who we are? And specifically, we want to talk about spanking children too. Like, do we feel like, is that what this generation is missing? What's the difference between us and the current youth, the current teenagers, the current, you know, 20-year-olds? What's the difference between us and them? And I put a link in the chat. Feel free to copy and paste it, but it deals with a trauma survey. And it does ask you questions about your childhood, right? But because you took yours today, I took mine the other day.
Right.
And we're gonna show our results for this this survey. So when I took the survey, so it had different categories: betrayal trauma, abandonment trauma, it has to come up across the screen. I pause it when it gets to our results.
Okay. I wonder if our results gonna be similar, sis, or somebody lied.
All right. So it had rejection trauma. This is mine. Oh, so it said I had moderate rejection trauma. When you get pushed away, turned down, and not accepted. I had not identified abandonment trauma, when close people turn emotionally unavailable, neglect, or suddenly vanish. I had high betrayal trauma, when people violate trust you place in them. And I also had high injustice trauma, when people's decisions and actions were unfair to you. All right, and some of these questions were about our childhood. All right, then let's see what your results were like. All right, you had mild rejection trauma.
Right.
You had mild abandonment trauma, moderate betrayal trauma, and you had moderate injustice trauma.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about these spankings, because between you and I, you know, contrary to popular belief, we got a lot of spankings. And they weren't no spankings.
We did.
We got a lot of whoopings, you know, and specifically, and I was telling my coworkers about this today, and we kind of made light of it, but it definitely wasn't light growing up. You know, my grandmother and my dad didn't allow us to be in the house while he was sleeping for work, because he worked third shift. So we had to go to my grandmother's house, and he would say, "You better do everything your grandma tells you to do."
Right.
And she would tell us what she would want us to do, and we would do it. But when my dad would wake up and get ready for work, and she would say, "These kids didn't do anything I told them to do."
Right.
And we would get worn out.
Right.
On a daily basis. Fortunately, you know, one of my uncles, and you know, my father is deceased, And one of my uncles, who was also deceased, Uncle Jell, was like, "Hey, don't whoop them kids again."
Right. He saved us.
He saved us.
May he rest in peace.
And may he rest in peace, because they've been up there working from sun up to sundown. And that, in a sense, is traumatizing, because we were getting like, these were not just this is a big leather belt. These are real whoopings. And you know, I had never heard my dad and my grandmother get into it, but they got into it that day because he was like, "Mama, no, mama, I don't play about my kids." But he stopped whooping us.
Well, he ain't stopped whooping us. He started whooping us for that.
For that, yeah, we didn't get any more whoopings at grandmama's house.
Right.
All right, and we really kind of got a little escape from some of those chores because it was optional at that point.
Yeah.
Because we had been punished enough. So it was like, if y'all, you know, if you go up there, but it when you have to go up there anymore type thing. So situations like that were traumatizing. Or sometimes when you know, growing up as a child, the parents get into an argument. And and now somebody's mad and just gonna whoop the kids out of anger. That kind of thing is not right. So what do y'all think? Are whoopings constitutional? Like, do we need to whoop the kids?
Man, let me tell you now, under those circumstances, I feel like you brought up something that was like, whooping probably wasn't the best option at that point, you know what I'm saying? So I hear a lot of parents these days talking about, well, you should talk to them and see what, you know what I'm saying, this and that. I get that too, but when you, what's up, Torn? But when you raising a kid, you know what I'm saying, they gonna do things, and no matter how many times you tell them, they gonna do what they want to do. I remember my dad used to say that to us, yeah, I told y'all to do this, but y'all did what y'all wanted to do. You ain't do what I tell you to do. You know what I'm saying? We will get a whipping for that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we used to joke with him about those whippings and stuff too, and say, "Oh, Daddy, you whooped us for no reason, no reason." We used to get whippings all the time for no reason. And being a grown man and looking back at those whippings and how these kids are today compared to how we were, as a grown man, I can honestly say I appreciated those whippings, because as a man and as a young man and a boy and all the things that I could have been exposed to, that stopped me from being exposed or going out there and trying a lot of things or doing a lot of things that my friends were doing, So those whippings, even if it wasn't for, following somebody, just that whipping in my head, me knowing that I would get in trouble and would catch a beat down, it stopped me from doing a lot of things, and I feel like these kids today don't have nothing to be scared of. Like they got scared of nothing. Like they don't have no respect. Like I seen Auntie said something in the comments. She said, they don't have respect for nobody or for nothing, and that's true. Not even their parents. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say it starts when the kid is young, man. Like you can't. Let me put it like this: you can't wait till a kid gets 7 and 8 years old to start want to discipline them and do it, because by that time they ain't scared of you, or they don't take you serious. Like I said, it starts when they're young. Like if you're on discipline, I ain't saying beat your kid, but I do feel like spankings are necessary in some cases. You know what I'm saying? It's necessary. Like you can't just tell a person something and expect them to just learn off of you telling them. It's got to be an experience. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be a disciplinary action taken if it's something bad. You know what I'm saying? You can't go through the world and not have no, no consequences behind things. And that's kind of like what a spanking is to a kid. It's a consequence for action. Like, would you rather, and I used to hear my dad say this, you would rather me whoop your A than the world. Than the world do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll take a whipping any day than go sit 10, 15 years. 10, 15 years in a prison or a cell. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that whipping any day, because guess what? You still getting a whipping, whether you know it or not, whether it's physical or mentally. You know what I'm saying? You getting a whipping by sitting in that cell. So yeah, I feel like if these kids were disciplined a little more and parents start, disciplining their kids the right way again, then a lot of this stuff would be cut out, man. A lot of these kids wouldn't do half the things that they did, because you have that fear. And I ain't saying make your kid, like I say, I ain't saying make your kids scared of you, but make them scared to do dumb things and make bad decisions. Make them scared of that.
And then I would say when you whoop your kids, a spanking is not hitting your child in the face or punching them.
Right, or punching them in the chest, or
we got whoopers. They were always on our behind. So
sometime on my back too. See, I caught a couple from my back. So
that's
yeah,
you was moving and jumping. So you
right.
You know, that's your.
I caught a couple across the head too, but I don't think, you know, may he rest in peace, Dad. But I don't think they were intentionally.
Oh yeah, you were moving. You got to feel. So, but my whole thing is like, I remember getting whoopings and but Daddy, I did do it, and he was like, well, you didn't do it right.
Right.
So that expectation of excellence, that's what it taught me. Like, if you're gonna do something, don't half do it. Do it correctly.
Exactly.
Do it correctly the first time. So it's like, to me, it is still something in me. And I think it most definitely shaped me into who I am. And definitely some self-control. Like, I think twice, you know, I'm not getting hit with that belt anymore, but before I make a decision, I kind of think about it, you know, before it becomes concrete.
But don't get it twisted, y'all. Now, growing up with a sibling, you know, and Raven was the bad one. I was always the good one, you know, so growing up with a sibling, she would do things and then I would get a whipping for it. But that taught us, you know, on the flip side, or I would do something most of the time and she would get a whipping too. You know what I'm saying?
The oldest, they would say,
yeah,
you let him do it.
Yeah. So that taught us, that taught us as siblings and as sister and brothers that, hey, look, if you see your sister about to do something, or you see your sister ain't doing something, or you see your brother about to do something, or he ain't doing what he's supposed to do, you better get him in line because you gonna take these consequences with him.
You're responsible for each other. We taught that as siblings, like you're responsible for each other.
Right.
So, you know, that's what we're trying to figure out. So we do, Aretha, we agree with you. Your childhood definitely shapes your overall being. All right. So I totally agree with that. And I feel like to a degree those whoopings saved me. But to the contrary, because I got so many whoopings, I don't whoop my child. I talk to my child. And, you know, I am finding it to be just as effective. You know, there may be some occasions where it may warrant a spanking, but it's not a beat down.
Right. Right. And I think, and shout out to my little niece too, Raylene, but I think that's why she's a little scared of Uncle Bubble, you know. And guess what Raven does when Raylene steps out of line? I'm calling Uncle Bubble. And guess what? She already know, you know, but that's that fear in her because she know that I'll spank her. You know what I'm saying? I'll whip her when she does something wrong. You know what I'm saying? So she straighten up and tighten up real quick when, you know, Uncle Bubble get called. So like I say, you know, it's got to be some level of discipline, you know what I'm saying, put on these kids these days. Otherwise, you know, it's going to continue to happen. And I mean, a lot of parents have lost the concept of discipline. You know what I'm saying? It's like you say, it ain't beating your kid or beating them up or punching them or doing something that's not humane. You know what I'm saying? But just letting them know, you know, if you don't do what I say, you know, you would rather have this consequence than the consequences that's going to be out here on the street waiting on you. You know.
All right. So some research. The American Academy of Pediatrics strengthen their advice against corporal punishment. It states that it makes kids more aggressive and raises the risk of mental health issues. So do you think that whooping a child teaches a child to hit other people?
Every child is different. And like I say, every parent probably discipline their kid. It's the way you discipline a kid, man. Like I say, it all falls back on disciplining a kid, you know, the way you do it. You know, but when it comes to that, that's a deeper conversation, you know, because everybody got different methods, you know what I'm saying? We'll talk all day about it, but I feel like if you're violent in how you're talking to them, why are you disciplining them? I think that's an important part too. Like the delivery, like the message you're trying to get them to get while disciplining them. Like I feel like that's important too, because if you just beating the kid and they don't even know why they're getting a whipping, then I kind of feel like that whipping is kind of pointless. You know, you need to let them know what they did wrong, or you know what I'm saying, or what the case is, or whatever the case may be. You need to let them know and let them be aware of what they're getting punished for. You know, and then tell them how to correct it, you know what I'm saying, or whatever order you want to put it in, you know, just as long as you explain to that kid why they're being disciplined, and they know, you know, so and that'll kind of, you know, get them in the mindset, okay, I won't do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, it's a way you do it. And I feel like the way when like you said, you know, it's causing kids to you know, be violent and do all of that, that's because the delivery of the discipline was wrong. That parent was doing it in the wrong fashion, or handling it, you know, serving up discipline the wrong way. You feel me? So like I say, it's a way to do everything, you know.
Yes, but okay. And then when I looked at my little trauma test results, like I am aggressive. You know, I am aggressive because of those whoopings. But my aggression is not in a bad way where I'm out here hitting people. But I'm, you know, I want to get the job done. I want to get the job done correctly. I'm going after what I want, and I'm gonna get it the first time. That's my business.
And me,
I can't mess up.
Yeah, me being your sibling, I feel like I don't think your aggression comes from, you know, the whippings and things. I think your aggression may come from, you know, just the people we were around, because we were just around a lot of aggressive. Our dad was, you know, aggressive person. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were just around. We had aggressive people in our families. Like a lot of the people on both sides, mom and dad.
Personalities.
You know, exactly. So, you know, we were, you know, you would look at those people on the outside as aggressive people, but, you know, that's just our nature as a family, our bloodline, you know, so to speak. You know, I think that aggression just comes with it. You know, I don't think my aggression comes from, or my, you know, I guess you can call it aggression. I don't want to say that, but I guess you could call it aggression. I think mine come from just the type of things you know, besides whipping that I went through. You know what I'm saying? You know, whipping saved me. I'm gonna just say that. Like, getting whipping saved me from a lot of things. So that's in a nutshell, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's necessary, man. Especially like my son, he gets spankings, you know what I'm saying? He gets it. And my sister, with her not spanking her kid, you know, she don't like it sometimes, but I'm the one who's gonna have to deal with him getting in trouble later on. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one who's gonna have to go down to the school and see why he got put out of school, or see why he's getting in trouble, and I'm gonna have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, different parents have different methods, but I feel like it's necessary, man. You know, you gotta be a parent and look out for your child's well-being later on in life. Not just while they're a kid, but you want to instill this in them as they get adults, so they can live to see you get old. So it don't stop when they get older. You know what I'm saying? You want to teach them lessons that's gonna last with them for life. You know, and those whippings last with me for life. Like right now, I can reflect on a lot of whippings I've gotten. You know what I'm saying? From dad, me and you both. You know what I'm saying? We can sit here and talk all day about some of the whipping we got for things. So, like I say, it's a way to do everything, man. Like, you know, a child these days is gonna have trauma regardless if it's discipline in the house. You know, they're gonna have trauma from school. They're gonna have trauma from being bullied at school. You know, a lot of kids go through things every day that their parents don't even know about. So, you know, I feel like it started at the house, and disciplining them and teaching them how to deal with those type of things, you know, is the best thing you can do. You know what I'm saying? So,
Aretha said we don't need to whoop our kids, but I'm not opposed to it. It's just that nowadays it's a thin line between whooping and abuse.
Well, that's because they made it a thin line between that. You know, growing up around older people and sisters, you know, we've got whippings like we've got whippings, you know what I'm saying, that if today was handed down on a kid like how we got, they would definitely be in jail. They would definitely be locked up right now. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, like that whipping that we so-called everybody's scared to say, or everybody's opposed to, or some people opposed to, not saying you, Aretha, but some people opposed to, that whipping is saving that kid ultimately from death or prison, man. That's what you got to look at. Like, that's what we got to look at. You looking at the picture, oh, I don't want to hurt my kid or hurt. What you think the prison going to do?
Yeah, and then those people that say, you want your child to fear you. It's not that I want my child to fear me, but I want my child to fear harsh consequences.
Exactly.
I want my child to understand that it won't always be a second chance, and nobody's gonna, you might not get a slap on the wrist.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, you know, you don't want to wait till it's too late to try to oh, well, your kid, you don't never whoop your kid, and then they go out here and do something, and then because they ain't never had to experience no consequences for none of the actions that that they've done. So as soon as they go to prison, you the first one to cry, oh, my baby gone for life. Yeah, because you ain't instilled this discipline in them, so now the system is finna discipline them, and now you crying. When a whipping would have probably saved them, or you know what I'm saying, or made them detour at least for a little, you know what I'm saying, to a better situation,
I'd rather deal with the bad child than a monster later on. Correct. You got to bend the sack while it's young.
That's what I'm saying. So, like I say, not saying beat your kid for every little thing. Some situation that kids and your children are gonna do, it can a conversation with them or sit down with them and talking to them can fix it. But let's say when that kid go and do something that could have been costed that could have costed someone their life or could have costed them their life, then what are you gonna do? A talk I feel like a talk ain't that ain't gonna cut it. You gotta it's gotta be some form of just taking a game from that ain't cut it. Cause me being an outside person, you know what I'm saying, my parent would take my game system from me all the time. That ain't faze me.
And that Frederick Douglass quote, which is one of my favorite, that says, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Because when they grown, it's too late. We like computers. Once we program those behaviors into our minds, it's hard to go delete them out of our random access memory.
Right.
So you got to train that child, creating those habits with that kid. Because oftentimes those habits are, lifestyle habits that you're teaching them because it's instilled in them for several years of their youth, but you can't wait until they're too old. And then as an educator, when you call a parent and a parent they have given up on the child at 12 years old. I have done everything. I have tried everything. I just don't know what to do. Little Billy cuss you out and cuss his mom out too. Like it's nothing. And I pray every day because I've never had a child cuss me. But with that thing, I see it happening though. They have, some of these kids growing up 12, 13, 14, 15, maybe in middle school, not having
younger than that.
Any regard for an adult's presence or, that kind of thing.
That's right, Ma. Look, that's the old saying. I used to hear my grandma say it. If you don't whoop the kid gonna grow up and whoop you. And that's real. That's real talk, man.
But that whooping can be figurative.
Right. It ain't necessarily gotta be, but in some cases the whipping
is. They are fighting their parents. Some of these kids are hitting their parents. Right. But that whipping can be when you gotta go bail them out every 3 months.
And the ultimate whipping is when you gotta put that dirt over them, man.
Yeah, it's figurative. No, these tablets and iPads are raising their kids.
They definitely are, and some good, in some cases bad.
Yeah,
because they're good learning tools. Like to be honest with you, if we had these learning tools, you know what I'm saying, when we were young, these kids are way advanced because they have so much, technology to use and get to learn things way quicker, you know what I'm saying? But the flip side is it's still exposure to it's the dark side of that. It's the exposure to all the things that you don't need your kid to be exposed to. Good learning tools, but on the flip side, it's a bad device to have because they're exposed to so many things, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, like I say, we didn't have that type of stuff. So it's different these days, These parents get these kids these pads and stuff just to keep them quiet and not have to interact with them. And that's another thing, I feel like we were hands-on, like our parents were hands-on, or we were hands-on with each other and we played and learned things like that. But, she said, but they're not watching and learning. Yeah, you're right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know my son had an iPad and, he broke it, and that's why he's without one now because he don't know how he destroys things. He's had 3 of them, but he was learning, words and how to draw his letters and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And that's all he could do on it, but these people, these parents are getting these kids these advanced iPhones and iPads and stuff and don't have them filtered and they can go and search anything.
Well, it's all kind of stuff out there on TikTok. It's all kind of stuff,
That's another one.
on social media. They can go look for this stuff. It's all kind of stuff on YouTube, and they
Even
can go
Facebook.
things. And then they have things that are geared with kid content, but they are adult in development. So if you leave your child under 10, you come back and they're watching these things, and then like this game Roblox, I wrote them personally a whole dissertation as to why they need some type of age guidelines or restrictions with the worlds in the game, because it's people walking around nude doing adult activity inside this game, and little kids are playing and they matching the people up so they can see the activity, but they may not know what they're watching, and some of them may know what they're watching depending on how advanced they are with their YouTube skills.
Right.
Things.
Man, these kids ain't dumb. They know what they're watching. They know what to go search.
So, that kind of thing. So you need to keep a tab on what your child is watching. Check their history. And don't announce it to them. I'm about to check your phone. No, just check the phone. Just take the phone when you feel like it and check it and look into your child's history. Look through those text messages. And then, like, if parents get help, check their DMs. Instagram, check their DMs on Facebook and see what these kids are actually doing, because it will blow your mind some of the things kids say to me.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you this, you got more parents out there now worried about what their partner doing. They'll rather sneak and check their partner's phone, their boyfriend or girlfriend phone, and won't even check the kid. The kid, the one who's doing something that you need to be attentive to. Y'all checking the adult phone, go check your kid phone and see what they're doing.
You don't want the wrong thing implanted in your child's mind, and talk to your kids. If you see it in there, you might freak out, but guess what? If you see it in their phone, it's time to have a conversation.
Right. Because whether you want it to happen or not, it's going to continue. They just going to shield it from you, because kids are smarter than you think. You know what I'm saying? They're just going to find a way where you don't know it, and they're going to. So, yeah, like she said.
The sneak, like, if you see it in their phones, guess what? At that point, they have been exposed to it. It's time to have a conversation.
And that's one of those circumstances. And that's one of those circumstances where I feel like a whipping is not needed, depending on the I guess the what's the word I'm looking for? I guess the seriousness of whatever they got in their phone, you know what I'm saying? Talking to them may just work, I don't feel like a whipping is necessary for that. You know what I'm saying? But if they got a message in there saying, "Oh, I'm glad we linked up last night. Let's do it again today or tomorrow night," then a whipping might be needed, because you don't want those consequences that come with it when we talking about dealing with kids now, So
but you need to have a conversation.
Still have a conversation, but it still should be some form of discipline or something in there, because don't to each his own,
Okay, but as a teacher though, I'm not gonna lie, have the conversation with them before their friends do.
Right.
Don't wait. You can't wait till they're 16. Like, when it's all kind of things going on in these middle schools. Have a conversation with them before their friends do.
Exactly, people. Don't be scared to talk to your friend. Not your friend. Don't be scared to talk to your kids, because growing up. Now, that's another conversation that we may need to bring up on the 80s baby conversation, because back in the 80s, like, our parents ain't talked to us about that. If you brought up sex to our parents, you probably would get one of those beats we talking about. I know you ain't having sex. You know what I'm saying? It was that back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So, now that's something that I feel like is different now, because I do see a lot of these young parents these days, they'll talk about sex and stuff with their kids. You know what I'm saying? More so than our parents in the 80s and before our time did. You couldn't bring up sex back then because they'll automatically assume that you was already doing it, and that was a no-no.
Mm-hmm.
That was a strict no sex. Not staying in my house. Ain't no sex going on. You ain't paying no bills and staying in their house.
Well, the talk I got was, you're a teenager now, and if you have sex and you get pregnant, your life is over, and that was it.
That's the picture they painted to us.
That was it.
That was the picture they painted to us.
So, as parents, we got to be more realistic about it and try to talk to your kids before their friends do, kind of thing. Right. What do you want to leave the people with tonight?
Like I said, man, my condolences to those two families that lost their loved ones over the weekend, and to everybody, and then to everybody else that probably lost a loved one, you know, my condolences to those families. And I want to give safe travels to David Cruz out there on his journey to Miami. You know, I hope he has a safe and prosperous trip down there. You know, I hope he, you know, get what he searching for out of his trip, you know, but, you know, just be safe and just aware, because like I said, there's a lot of things going on in the world today. So just be cautious out there, y'all. And if y'all have a chance to meet him, you know, do it for the right reasons and not for a clout, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, I hopefully tomorrow, you know, if he comes through here, I get a chance to catch up with him, you know what I'm saying? But safe travels to him, and whoop them kids, man. Whoop them kids.
And I'm just gonna say once again, prayers to the families of those affected by tragedy. Also, happy birthday to you. Enjoy your birthday weekend. Turn up. We appreciate everybody for joining in on the conversation tonight. Please spread the word. We need people to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
People to like our Facebook page. And we love y'all. And we see y'all on the next conversation.
We out, man. Y'all be safe.
All right. Have a good night.